All
I
right,
can hear
thank
you.
you. Yeah, I'm joining from Canada, and it's a wonderful session. Uh, yeah, I just want to ask one or two questions. Yeah, so that it's been a wonderful demo question, and I'm really interested in this class. I'm looking forward to getting the best out of this class and this training as much as possible. Yeah, so like you were saying, I'm a developer, but I want to switch fully to DevOps. I'm tired of coding every day, every moment, and I want to just switch fully to DevOps, and I'm interested. But the first question I want to ask is, are we going to be training with live projects? Enough live projects that those are the same things we are going to do. Probably you get a job as a DevOps engineer. Those are the same projects you're going to be working on to help you. That's the first question. And also, can the project be used on our resume? And for interview purpose, they ask you what are the projects you've worked on. So this is just to take it to somebody that's just coming to learn, and you want to get a job. Let me say in the next after your training, in the next 2 to 3 months, you want to get a job as a DevOps engineer. So those projects, can you use them on your resume, and also can you use them for interviews? And also, how can we maybe after the training, are we going to be helped on how to profile our probably resume to get a job? Most of the jobs you have out there, they tell you, they ask you the experience you have. The first thing they ask you is, what have you done? What are your experiences? So are we going to enjoy all of these things in the course of the training? Thank you.
Yeah. So for the two questions which you asked, the first one, the project, by the way, so the project is going to be a kind of a, not a kind of a, it's a project that generates millions of dollars, by the way. So IBM is a company, and there is even in the roadmap.sh there is a product called as Instana. You see this? There's a product called as Instana, and this Instana is like instana.com. So this Instana is actually IBM acquired. It's almost done, like almost done in the sense it's been in 2 years, but still the tag is there. So it's an IBM Instana by IBM now. Okay, it's an Instana by IBM. Now this product, if you want to purchase this particular product, so I mean, why do you purchase this product? It's an application performance monitoring tool, and it is going to monitor your application. So your application is going to be a big application, like you want to monitor it and understand it. So this product is going to help you. Now if you want to purchase this particular product, so you cannot blindly go and purchase the product, right? You want to know the features of the product. Now there is a sales team who comes into picture, not sales, pre-sales team who comes into picture, and so give you that particular features of that Instana by demonstrating a project called as RoboShop. So this is the project which we are teaching. So this is there in their GitHub webpage. We are actually taking it, and we are actually a little bit customized as per the training requirements, and we are delivering the same project. Now, so the same tech stack, you can keep it on your resume. So you know to really use anywhere that that it is Instana or RoboShop, something like that. But you can use all these particular tech stacks. End of the day, you will know about all this particular tech stack in your resume, that you worked on an application who have this particular tech stack. Okay, so how to strategize that? And again, coming back to the second point, so basically, so we'll talk about how do you keep that particular things in your resume, and post the training, so how do you project the learnings what you had from the training, how to keep it in a resume. So we'll talk about that. So that also is a part of the training. We'll help you with that, not an issue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raghu. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ajay.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Like, how many days the training would be? Is there any fast track?
No, the training is going to be for 3 months, and
Okay,
so we don't have a fast track.
thank you.
Yeah.
Hi Raghu.
Yeah.
So I have one quick question regarding this course. So for this job training, we need some Linux, right? So for that Linux training, we are getting from this course, or we need to learn it first. Very different. Like it
No,
was separate course.
so I already told you the evaluation of the market, right? So you want to go forward or you want to go backward. So that's where is the thing, right? So now let me just bring back the diagram. Now what I told OS team is basically like a Linux OS team. So now
Hmm.
that guy's role is no more, and it is being taken care by the cloud vendor. Now while you're
Oh,
learning the things, you're learning to your past, not to the future. Okay, so whatever we learn over here is quite enough for dealing with the Linux. And anything it's not like a war that you prepare all the things and you go on there, right? So it's basically like a learning. Okay, whenever the scenario comes, you should be in a position to understand the situation and learn or use that particular things. It's not like, so if you want to end up a Linux, I'll tell you, like next 30 years you end up learning Linux only. Like you'll never complete that Linux. Okay, so that is how the huge Linux is, and it is not needed as well. So what is needed for you is what you need to learn, by the way. So when it is coming from an OS context, if you want to become a Linux administrator, the Linux course is going to be different. If you want to become a cloud engineer, the cloud course is going to be different. But what you want to become here is a DevOps engineer. Our context, our dimension of the things are different. So we'll learn about our dimension.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So Raghu, you will be starting with the Linux basic commands usually, right? Which is suitable for the cloud, right?
Yeah, we will.
And what will be the progression path of the course? Like what will be the initial and like how it will be till the end? What will be the path of the course?
So what will be the path of the course?
Yeah. Which will come first and how will we reach the final destination? Like,
so we don't actually see, that's what is the difference we generally make it. So what we do is first immutable infra, and containerized infra. So this is the understanding of the course at 10,000 feet. Okay, so but based on these requirements, we'll start aligning the things. Okay, so it's not like you learn a tool and you implement the tool. That academic approach, we are not going in an academic approach. The academic approach is nothing but they teach you all the things. By the way, they'll just showcase you one thing and they'll close the sessions. That is what the academic approaches people are doing. What we're doing is we're taking a project. Okay, and that particular project we are trying to design end to end, by the way. And what is the end to end I cannot just say a flow. Why? Because the flow is not gonna be exactly the same flow. Why? Because we are going to gather the, okay, another point I missed to mention you. I think that is the reason we are getting these points. So what we do is we do a project, and that particular project we are going to list down all the problems we have it on the project. We work on the problems, will not work on that direct tool, by the way. End of the day, the problem should tell me to use a tool and solve it. Okay, we start from the problem.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So we go in the problem flow, we don't go on the tool flow. Yeah.
Catch.
Yeah.
So, as you told, you're not covering like Kubernetes or Terraform directly and tool wise. You just discuss in the project on the go. Shell
We do
scripting.
the project. Project tells like, use Kubernetes, we'll go and use Kubernetes. It's not like I just use Kubernetes and I'm nowhere like where to use Kubernetes, right? So we are not going in that way. We are understanding the problems. So here we clearly see the problems, right? Results are giving clearly the problems. So the mutable approach, I have a problem. So I have to think about alternate solution. I have an immutable infra. And in immutable infra also I'm doing little things a little bit bad. I need to look about something even better. I'm coming to the containerized infra. And finally, Kubernetes.
Hey Raghu, sorry, since you're going in a practical project approach, so this course will not be best for more of a beginner. Is that what you're gearing towards to? As far as student wise, there needs to be some sort of experience in this topics if we're going towards the project route, or are you giving some sort of a background lecture, then dive into the projects from a practical perspective?
Yeah, we start with a background lecture, but the background coming from a problem. You need to understand that. So since I have a problem, we'll try to understand towards to the solution. And and in that the whole phenomenon, you'll understand the problem is the basic thing, what is the need of it as well, and then only you'll get onto the tool. It's not like, so previously, like so a lot of academic style, what they do is they'll not tell you the problem, so they'll go directly with the so the use case of that particular particular tool. They start with the tool, by the way. So they'll teach you the problem, or they might tell you the problem, they'll never show you the problem. So but what we are doing is we're showing, hey, this is the problem. Okay, so we need to build it up. Okay, so then what is the solutions we have, and this is a solution, tool is a solution. Okay, we start learning the tool. Okay, then we start immediately implementing the tool as well. We'll not like so we cover all the 100 options of the tool, we come back into the implementation. No, we'll understand the bare structure of that particular tool. Again, MVP we call it as. See, we are mostly goes in an agile model. Okay, training also goes a little bit on agile model. We start with MVP, minimal viable things, and then we'll start building the things in a structured way. So we start the things. So as soon as we start a topic, we start solving the problems. It's not like learning. Last you do is solving. Yeah.
Yeah, Raghu, I had a question. So the applications that we'll be using for this, are they like not like Hello World applications or something like that, right? These are like proper projects, I suppose. So even if it's a Java application or something.
Yeah, so that's
Um,
what you're seeing here. So it's not like one application, one graph you're not seeing, right? So there are so many components you're running. And behind also you have some more like databases and all.
Yeah, and so there are times when like in the interviews, if you have like 4 or 5 years of experience, they expect you to know like literally everything. Like so so you understand. What my expectation is that if you are like if you learn this, you learn like the process of deployment into various like AWS services or something like that. So will that like help me give interviews? Is what if will that help me get an idea to give like interviews? So when they ask me, do you know about AMIs or do you know about DynamoDB? So will I at least have like a proper answer for them is what my question is. So sometimes right, they from 4 or 5 years experience guy, they literally expect everything, them to know everything. So will I at least be able to or troubleshoot? Will I be able to troubleshoot any deployment errors or something like that? That's my question.
So to the two questions which you asked by the are we learning everything? So that's where actually I'm coming, and like everything is something that we need to put a binary, by the way. Why? Because so we are picking only one thing. Like let's say for an example, you're learning Jenkins and you're going for an appearing an interview, they're asking a GitLab CI, then so from the knowledge of Jenkins, you should be able to answer the GitLab CI. So that at least you should be doing it. Okay. So when you ask everything, everything is in a context. Okay, so every vertical we are covering. So every vertical definitely we are covering, but not like everything again, right? So that's something like a wording is, I want to be very particular, give a clear context that so that I'm not telling you everything, right? So because one vertical, one thing will definitely cover end to end, definitely no doubt in that. Okay, you take a Jenkins, whatever I teach Jenkins, like I don't think so like you talk to next 50 trainer people also, I don't think so you'll find out a person who is teaching what I'm teaching in Jenkins. Okay, no doubt in that. So but however, so if you ask me like so if other trainers are giving you like 10% of Jenkins, 10% of GitLab, 10% of GitHub, 10% of Travis CUI, I'm not doing that. So that I cannot claim on that. So that's the first thing. So whatever we do end to end full cycle, and the project is a bigger project. It's not a simple hello world project. It's going to be a very serious project, by the way. You'll see serious issues as well. Okay, so that is not going to be that easy as well to do the things. Okay, so if you just try to take a look of the code also, if we okay, so one of the completed batch which we have completed. So if you see the code, so let me just show you the code whatever we have written for this 65 batch, and I'm not sure how to get the code, by the way, from here, how many number of lines of code. There's a hell lot of code, you will be seeing it over here. That start. So I think this is going to be a little bit tricky part to get the how many number of lines of code, but yeah, so everywhere you go there, okay, so you'll not see very simple lines of code. For example, if I go onto the RoboShop, mutable RoboShop, just as an example, maybe I'll go to the Terraform completely. So as a Terraform, I'll show you. So maybe if I go for VPC, so then you go here. So you'll see this stat star pipe count -l. So there are 170 lines of code. Okay, only for this particular guy. So like that, you'll have so many lines of code. At least you'll see 5,000 lines of code easily. You'll see on the whole project. It's not going to be like simple hello world we do so there are so many components in the project, it becomes like a complex. We deal in a complex way. Our training is a hard way only. It's not going to be easy. At one point of time, you will get even that you are even teased or you are even overburdened, by the way. So that level of way we go with. But anyhow, that is essential in the market, like you asked, like, by the way. So people are expecting that today's the interviews are matured way. They are expecting the things from you. And if you are going with the bare minimum knowledge, it's not going to help you. So that's even we both are on the same point. Okay, so that's where we are going an extra mile and teaching you the extra things as well. And that's where we're taking a base over here and trying to tell you the comparison that yes, we are doing everything almost. So that's the idea. And I think that answers your question, both the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, hi
I
Raghu,
was
Surya this side.
Yeah, I'll take a name. Surya, go ahead.
Okay, so for just to means ask, just you showed that you have we are going to do with ongoing project the codes and everything. So does it require any language specific like you showed earlier that JavaScript or Python that should be needed or something like that? Is there any prerequisite for that?
Okay, I will answer your question in a very simple manner, but don't take me wrong. I hope you know driving, right? You know driving.
No.
No. Just I'm asking very simple question, cross question to answer you. Do you know driving?
Yeah.
Do you know repair? Repair the whatever the car or bike, by the way. So do you know the repairing as well?
Yeah.
You know you repair your own car. You service your own car.
Not completely means small things like if you
There you go.
know puncture
You
repair or
have the
something
answer.
like that.
There you have the answer. So end of the day, we work on all these services, Java, Node.js, Python, all these particular services which are developed by the developer. So they are the developers, by the way. So they do the things. They are like mechanics, right? So they are like service people. Okay, they do certain things. And as a user, now what are you, by the way? Like you use that particular car, you drive that particular car, you drive the things, you operate the things. Okay, operations, right? So you engineer the things. So that is where it is. So you know to really knew about you're dealing with a Java application. You know to know Java. Okay, so you're dealing with a Node.js application. You know to know the Java. So you operate the things. You know the things. You'll know the things how to operate it, and that's what you'll learn in this particular trial.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yes, Harsha, go ahead.
Yeah, Raghu. Hi, Raghu. So, what is the major difference between Azure DevOps and like normal DevOps? And are we going to explore anything in Azure DevOps? I mean, I think the fundamental would be the same, but is how important is it?
No, your understanding is 100% wrong because you're just comparing the words. Okay, so DevOps is a role, by the way. So DevOps engineer is a role. So who works on the post development activities like we talked about? That's a role. And out of this, Azure DevOps is one product. So you see this is the DevOps role, by the way. So this is a roadmap you're seeing. It's a DevOps role. And so now what you're comparing with is one vertical you have here in the CI, by the way, there is something called as Azure DevOps services. So this is a simple service. Okay, so you're comparing the wrong things. Those are not comparable. And Azure DevOps is a product name that you're going to use it in one area which is called as CI/CD, and that's it. And it's not full DevOps to compare. So the
Are
naming
we
is
going to
confusion.
cover that? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is there in syllabus.
Yeah. Hey, Raghu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Raghu, I'm an platform engineer. So my current requirement is in like couple of months we'll be setting up a Kubernetes cluster for Confluent Kafka project. So with this course, will I be able to have sufficient knowledge? I'm an admin. So I be getting enough knowledge to support a Kubernetes cluster environment uh, where like I will be getting like Docker's containers knowledge. So will will this course help me for that, or like this course provides just basic knowledge?
So we already talked about this particular point. So we are actually going to run a project, by the way. So the project running is what we are going to do, and we're running a serious load here as well. Where is this? Yeah. So we're running a serious load. Okay. In order to run a serious load, by the way, so just doing a basic things is not quite enough. So we're targeting the zero errors, by the way, on a very serious load. Okay, so 28,000 requests. I'm actually not getting one single error also. That means it's scaling, available, everything we are doing. So that's where the Kubernetes also, we go in a deep dive that you'll not get it only in the Kubernetes. So there is a context again here. So the Kubernetes, what we are going to cover is, if you are going to do it on a AWS or any cloud, by the way, yes, you can do that. But if you're thinking about running it on your own premise, then may not be this. I may not give you a right context that will do everything, by the way. So because on a cloud, yes, we do that completely, like running an application, like how to set it up, how to structure it, and how to run with a load, and how not to have any errors. All those things we'll do a step by step evaluation, and we get towards zero. That's what we do. But
Yeah.
we are not
So
focused
what?
on the on-premise.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to get is like on Kubernetes cluster, for example, if you have to install, working on installations, if operations team or development team they report some issues, so will I be able to debug those issues? Yeah, I think I got my answer, that you're saying that a basic like you'll be building a project with troubleshooting it, but setting up a cluster and working on from scratch on-premise cluster, I don't think so. That should this course will cover those things, right?
Yeah, on-premise we don't cover. We set up from the scratch, but on cloud only, not on the on-premises, because
Okay.
the landscape is changing. I cannot actually commit that you will be able to do that, because the roles and responsibilities is going to be completely different. And the ask whatever you're asking, you will never be a DevOps engineer, by the way. So you're just
Yeah.
an
So
administrator, you're not an
correct.
engineer.
So yeah,
Yeah,
my requirement is like I'm
yeah,
working already, so I'm not looking for a DevOps role outside, but my requirements to get the knowledge on Kubernetes, Dockers, and those concepts. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So administrator versus engineer. So there's a significant difference, by the way. So here we structure the things, whereas you operate the things. So that's where you're looking more on that perspective. I think you have to take a call that where you want to be, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Hi, Raghu. Hi. Can a database administrator fit into the role of a DevOps engineer?
Yes, he can.
So, what is the role actually in what kind of things you'll be doing in the DevOps role?
Same roles and responsibilities we talked about, right? The same roles and
Yeah.
responsibilities, even as a database engineer, you come to the
Mhm.
DevOps area, you work on that as well.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Uh,
so Raghu, so when it comes to migration, VMs migration, are you gonna touch that side as well?
No, we not focusing that. So we are actually focusing only, see where I'm coming. So where are we going to be, by the way? So we are going to be a DevOps engineer. Okay. So DevOps engineer essentially may not really work on the VM migrations and all, because that's a OS level. We are actually on the application level. Okay. So we don't do those particular things. And the problem with the market is everyone themselves calling themselves as a DevOps. So that is a major problem, by the way. So out of all those, so out of all those 100 tools or 200 tools which you have in the market, if one is working on one tool, they're calling themselves as a DevOps. But the tool wise, you will never become a DevOps engineer. You will become a tool guy only. Okay. So DevOps is something it's a practices. Uh, okay, and it's also a little mentality as well, like how do you operate the things, how do you do the things. Okay, so that's where I would really not say that so VM migrations is going to be the part of a DevOps engineer. If I look in the pure DevOps context, that's where, like, again, it's my understanding only. Like, I could be wrong. If you look in your dimension, maybe I whatever I'm talking can be a wrong thing, by the way. But however, I mean, mostly where I'm coming from, I'm coming from a company where who gave the agile to the market. If you just go back and start searching Google, like so who started agile, then basically, like where I'm coming from, where we actually come from an agile, where is a true agile organization. Okay, is I don't agree that so saying so doing such kind of work, calling themselves as DevOps engineers, we don't actually so feel like it's a DevOps. That's a problem. Okay, again, it's as I mentioned, so in my view, that's not going to be a DevOps engineer. If you like, if I look into the exact word of DevOps engineer, But yeah, but the problem with the market is like, so everyone is trying to put a wording like called as DevOps and just using one or two tools, or keeping the naming just as a namesake. Also, like a lot of administrator teams, they are keeping themselves as DevOps engineers and just calling them. But end of the day, you work on the same tools as I told, exactly, no doubt in that. But however, so the design, the practices, okay, so are quite different between the other teams with the actual DevOps engineers. So that's what you need to understand. Yeah.
Hi, Raghu.
And sorry, just to come back, conclude your answers, like VM migrations and all, we don't do that, Ahmed. We do focus on majorly on the application, like how to operate the application. That's where we start with. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi Raghu, just wanted to understand how SREs are different from DevOps. What is the thin line between them?
So I already told, right? So you're not there.
Yeah, I just missed it. Just wanted to get some more information because I see some people are called SREs, some people are called DevOps engineers. So what is the difference actually between them?
So basically, like I was telling, like in the context of where you work on, so in a platform where you work, so that's a SRE, and in a development perspective, project wise you are working on, it's DevOps engineer. So the DevOps engineer, like let's say you take Netflix as a company. Netflix.com has 1,000 microservices. That's what their website is telling. But the 1,000 services, who will maintain, right? So 1,000 teams cannot maintain those one single thing, right? So it's never gonna be work out. So that's where some common teams have also there who maintains that .com, and so those guys are SRE. And whereas so who works on individual projects, who makes the product and all in the development team. So that side you work on the things. So will be the DevOps engineer generally. Yeah, it is. But end of the
Okay,
day, like
somewhere.
if you look at
Okay.
the tools perspective, both guys works on the same tech stack. Tech stack is no difference. Where you're working is different.
How we can say in development, how there is a development as well as support team. Likewise, we can say here also, like
Not
DevOps is like a DAO and SRE is
no,
like a supporting for that
no,
particular pipeline.
no. That's wrong. So since you are, see, like let's say I'll tell in a very bad example. Just don't take me wrong. Now let's say if
Mm-hmm.
I'm a human being. If I'm born in if I born in Christianity, I'll call it as Christian. If I born in Muslim, I'll call it as Muslim. Don't take me wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
So but end of the day, both are human beings. There's no difference. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Both are same. Same thing. If you work on the project side, it's a DevOps engineer. You work on a platform side, it's a SRE engineer. Both guys' tech stack is 100% same. There shouldn't be any sort of difference. But their beliefs are different. Their targets are different, by the way. You can understand that. So their targets are a little different. But end of the day, both are same. Tech stack wise, 100% same. 100% same. No change.
Okay.
So we hope until a project goes live, development side, DevOps engineer will be taking care, and SRE role comes after the project went live and all, streamlining the things of the monitoring and all, right?
Yeah, I don't want to exactly say yes to your statement. Why? Because that may change from organization to organization.
Yeah, organization to organization,
Roles
yes.
and responsibilities. Yeah, but
Yeah.
keep in mind that we do both the things, but in a context matters. That's it.
Yes, as you said, you can't tell 100%. I just want to clarify one thing here. As you are discussing the project on AWS, using AWS, I just want to know, you are
Yeah.
explaining all the services AWS uses, like EC2 instances, creating auto scaling, whatever, how to do
Yeah.
those things, or
Yeah.
you are just touching in the project wise. That's the main. I mean,
But doing a
you are
project, by
going
the way,
services wise, or
we're going project wise. The Terraform code is a very big code. I write it. At least there will be 1,000 lines plus code just on Terraform only. So it's going to be hell
okay,
for you. If you're coming from a no code background, the Terraform is a hell for you. Whatever I teach, hell lot of Terraform
okay.
code. Yeah. So if you go to my any of the batches, so you can, its code is open. You can refer as well. Like let's say the recent completed batch is 64. So then if I go to the repositories, you'll see a lot of Terraform. So because the Terraform is the base, so we talk about everything automated. So this is what actually you're getting. And again, some names are TF only. So these are all Terraform modules. We write a hell lot of Terraform. It's not like only touching the service. So touching the service is not going to be enough, because when you write the code, you'll get into the details of the things, each and every line as well. Okay, you'll understand the internals of the service as well to an extent. Okay, so we do a significant difference in learning the service. That's where we're not really mentioning, we don't go with the tool service, something like that. So we go on this solving the problems. So if the problem is solving, it is fine, right? So that's what it is you need to understand. So end to end.
Raghu, when we say we write a code in Terraform, it means that we write in shell scripting. Is that understanding right? Or
No, Terraform is a separate tool, and it has its own code. Shell is a different thing. It has its own code.
okay, so Terraform works on which, I mean, what we call that particular code as?
No, you are actually just doing a wrong comparisons, by the way. So maybe later, slowly, you'll get a context, by the way. You'll get an idea as well. I am not really sure how to answer your question, because Terraform is a tool. Shell scripting is another
Mhm.
tool, by the way. So Shell is giving its own format of writing the code. Terraform is telling in its own format. Or you take a programming language. Java tells both are programming languages. So Java is telling that you write the code in this way, and maybe Python is telling you write the code in this way, right? So that is how it is. Like Shell is another tool, Terraform is another tool, and here Shell is going to do some different job. Terraform is going to do a different job, by the way. So it's not comparable as well. But end of the day, it's a tool.
Okay. So we call whatever we write the code, that is called as a Terraform code. That's it.
Since it is Terraform, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Classes are from Monday to Friday, or like in weekends also we take the classes.
Monday to Saturday if you are in Indian time zone, but Sunday to Friday if you are in US time zone. So the
So the
same.
timings will be the same, like 6 a.m. to 7:30, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Raghu, when are you sending information for the Slack and the session for tomorrow, starting for classes?
Yeah. So Slack, you will get it in a couple of days later, by the way, not immediately,
Okay.
because for the first couple of sessions you don't really require the Slack access generally. We'll slowly getting it one by one, and by at least 3-4 days later, everything, like everyone would be getting it, every access.
Okay. Do
Because
we
we
need
have some.
to install any type of program on the application before the training starts?
What all is needed will be discussed in the training, but upfront you don't really require. So just to tell you also, we require only 2 softwares to be installed in your system. One is an editor to write the code. One is another client to connect to the Linux boxes. These are the only 2 things which you require in your local system. Apart from that,
Okay.
nothing. Everything we're going to run on the cloud itself. But how to deal with the things, we will be covering those in the sessions.
Yeah. One more question. I'm using a MacBook. Is that okay, or you're requiring Windows?
Yeah. No. I'm also using Mac only. Don't worry at all. No issue.
Mac is okay. Okay. All right. That's it.
Hello. Hi.
Yes.
Hi. What kind of homework do you expect from me if I'm a trainee?
Yeah. So we are going with the greenfield approach. So the greenfield
Yeah.
approach means like whatever I do in the training, in parallel after the training, you have to go and do the same thing. So whatever I did, what I achieved today, you have to achieve the same thing on from your side for that session on your own account, on your own lab, by the way. That's what it is.
Sure. And do we get to access any offline resources? Because
You will.
okay, and let's just say I'm missing a class. How can I?
I'm missing a
I'm sorry. Hello.
Yeah, you will get a recording as a part of training. So that means like the same session, whatever you attended. So after a couple of hours, you will get the recording. You can go through the recording and you can cross check that. And anyhow, I'll tell you the best practice that you can do it out, do the best learning, what all the things, how do you do the things. So maybe just follow that. I think it should be fine for you.
Thank you, Ravi.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Venkat, go ahead.
Sir, actually, I have a 4 years of career gap. Can I get any assistance from your side?
So like I told, so if you have a career gap also, you can start with the DevOps as well. Yes. So we'll talk about by end of the training, like how to get into the market, okay, and all. We'll talk about those strategies. Don't worry. Yeah. We'll be taken
Okay.
care.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone? Any other questions?
Hey, Raghu,
Yes.
when we talked about our own lab, should we create our own AWS account? Will the
Yeah,
free
you
account will
should.
be okay or
Free is
paid?
not fine. It's paid only. So we'll talk about what are the paid things, what are the things tomorrow. We'll talk in the first day, day one. Tomorrow we'll talk about that.
Okay. So coming back to this Terraform, one particular person was asking which language or code that to be written is. With my little knowledge, it is based on YAML, isn't it?
No, it's own
I'm just
DSL by the way.
okay.
It's a
Okay.
DSL
Just
we
to
call it
clarify.
as domain specific language, DSL, domain specific language. Terraform has its own language. It's not YAML.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hi.
Raghu. Raghu, on those applications and programs like the Ansible, the Terraform, we're gonna go through some educational background lessons before we install and start the practical project, correct? And we're not just gonna dive into the project.
Of course. Don't worry about that. So we'll be taken care. So we'll always do a logical connection, by the way. In order to use Ansible, it has to be installed. How to install and all, of course.
We're gonna go. All right, sure.
Yeah, hi Raghu.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Chandrasekhar. I am sorry, I'm very late for this session. Can I have any recording session for this demo?
Yeah. Yeah. So the same link, whatever you joined today. So in in an hour or so, the link will be
Okay.
the video will be uploaded. So somewhere, let me
Okay.
just show you the template since you asked.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah, thank you.
I'll keep it
Yeah,
something
thank
like
you.
this.
Yeah,
1
thank you.
minute. 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the template you joined or somewhere. So here I will just mention
Right.
the video somewhere. So I will say that it is demo recording, right? So here in this place, the video, the recording will get updated. Okay, this link will go away. Our actual recording video will get embedded. All you need to do is after 2 hours at least, just try to refresh the same page. You should see the recording. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Saying
Yeah,
something.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raghu, actually, I'm completely non-technical guy,
Mhm.
working as a operations manager in business.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, but I want to explore my career into the DevOps or AWS. Is it okay as a non-technical guy? He step into the DevOps kind of thing. Is it okay? Can I
Okay, not
choose?
okay. I cannot tell. Sorry for that. I cannot tell because I'm not sure, right? So your background, your things, I'm not quite sure. I may not be the right guy to answer your thing. I think you better think about, okay, so, okay, if you want to become a technical guy and you want to think about, yes, I want to work as a DevOps engineer, then I can help you. But whether you want it or you don't want it, I don't want to push my
Yeah,
impression
of
on you.
course, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, of
you
course.
think about, you think about it.
But basically, I'm technical guy actually. I completed my Bachelor of Computer Applications.
Mm.
I know SDLC, everything I know in IT, but after that, I moved to the complete management side actually, in business
Yeah,
management side.
so it's a choice you
Yeah,
have to make
I
it.
have,
So if you want to
yeah,
become a hands-on DevOps engineer, I will help you. Okay, definitely I'll help you.
okay.
But if you want to become or not, you think about it once.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
No, because of non-technical guy, is it because my past 6 years experience is in business management as a operations. Yeah, that's why I doubt because if I into the market, how that recruiters will treat because he's completely non-technical guy. How can we take it as in technical like that. That's why. But actually I want to explore my career into the DevOps.
Yeah, so I'll give you a simple example. Like, let's say you appear for an interview, whatever the reasons it is, you appeared for an interview, and
Okay.
see, you completely convince the interview that you're a technical guy, right? So then there is no
Yes.
reason
Yeah.
that I should not give you a job, right? What all the questions
Yeah.
I asked, you answer each and every question in the best way. Then what is the
Right.
reason that I'll not give you a job? Okay, so
Okay. Okay. Okay.
today the market recruitment
Yeah.
is going on a skill based, especially. Okay, you have
Okay.
a skill, your background doesn't really matter. Okay, if really a background matters, then today I'm not really in this position doing a job in the IT industry. I'm a second class student. Okay, so
Okay.
that
Yeah.
really the background matters, by the way. So I don't think so. The skill is there. There are enough companies who can pick you up, but yeah, so you should show the skill. Your work is all about showing the skill. That how much you do completely depends upon you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.